battle for Belagavi is raging on in two states that are neighboring each other and both ruled by the BJP. So the BJP is in a bind in this row between Maharashtra and Karnataka, which has escalated today. In fact, today Maharashtra has stopped its state bus service, that's the MSRTC, into Karnataka. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar has said we can only be patient for some time before giving the Karnataka government 24 hours. He claims that vehicles with Maharashtra numbers, trucks, etc. are being targeted inside Karnataka. Why has this fight escalated? First, let's just take a look at what the politicians are saying today.
मैंने स्वयं कर्नाटक के मुख्यमंत्री जी से बात की है और मैंने उनको ये कहा है कि इस प्रकार की घटनाएं होना ठीक नहीं है। अपने देश में हमारा संविधान ये किसी भी राज्य में किसी को भी आने जाने की, वहाँ रहने की, वहाँ नौकरी करने की इजाज़त देता है। तो अगर महाराष्ट्र की गाड़ियों पर हमला हो रहा है तो ये गलत बात है। मुझे कर्नाटक के मुख्यमंत्री जी ने आश्वस्त किया है कि वे स्वयं इसकी ओर ध्यान देंगे, इस पर एक्शन लेंगे और ऐसी वारदातें न हो ये वो देखेंगे।
ನಮ್ಮ ಗಡಿ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬದ್ಧರಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಜನರನ್ನ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಬದ್ಧರಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ। ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿರ್ಬೋದು, ತೆಲಂಗಾಣದಲ್ಲಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಕೇರಳದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಹಿತಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ।
ಗಡಿ ಭಾಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅದನ್ನು ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದವರು ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ। ಮಹಾಜನ ವರದಿ ಮೂಲಕ ಇತ್ಯರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ। ಅದು ಮಹಾಜನ ವರದಿನೇ ಅಂತಿಮ। ಮಹಾಜನ್ ಯಾವ ರಾಜ್ಯದವರು? ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಓನ್ಲಿ. He gave the report. That commission gave the report.
Now, for some quick context, this tussle between Maharashtra and Karnataka dates back to 1956, when the state of Karnataka was actually formed with Belagavi in it. Since then, Maharashtra has been laying claim to Belagavi. In 1966, a commission was set up under retired Supreme Court Judge Justice Mahajan. The commission then recommended that 264 villages be transferred to Maharashtra and that Belgaum, that's Belagavi, and 247 villages remain with Karnataka. But time and again, this spat flares up. Now, the latest trigger seems to be a statement made by Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai on the 22nd of November, where he said that some villages in the Jat Taluka of Sangli district want to join in with Karnataka from Maharashtra because they're hit by drought. They say the Maharashtra government is not doing enough for them and the Karnataka government has schemes for them, so they should join Karnataka. This has now flared up into the current crisis. Bhaskar Rao, former IPS and Commissioner of Police in Belgaum, formally is joining me on the show. Vaibhav Purandare, Senior Editor, Times of India, and author, Bal Thackeray and the Rise of the Shiv Sena, is joining me on the show. Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for speaking with us because, you know, we need to make sense of all of these statements and pictures and everything that we're seeing. Mr. Rao, let me begin with you. Why has this flared up again, in your view? Why would Basavaraj Bommai right now bring this up again at a time when there is a BJP government in Maharashtra next door?
Madam, at the very outset, India is one that has to be respected. And both Karnataka and Maharashtra have a border in which there is a language issue on both sides. Across the border, people speak Kannada. On this side of the border, people speak Marathi. Leaders on both sides have lost their sense of maturity and they're unnecessarily instigating people for a matter that has already been settled. It is high time both leaders exercise maturity and give some sense of protection to both business and trade, because crores of rupees of money is being lost. People feel insecure by such mindless violence spread by very few people. The border dispute has already been settled and there is no need to rake up this matter again and again. If somebody has asked for help, let the help be conveyed to the concerned person over there. There is no need to ask for territorial gains. We have people from Karnataka in Sholapur also over there. There are people from Kannada-speaking people in Sholapur also. There are Kannada-speaking people in Kasaragod in Kerala also over there. I think territorial disputes must be brought to a complete end, and the center should, instead of being a mute spectator, crack the whip, as both states are being ruled by the BJP government over there, and we have a central government there also over there. Maturity must prevail, and there should be no room for some kind of immature violence.
That's of course, that's obvious. What you're saying is completely correct. I'm trying to understand the genesis of this latest flare-up. Vaibhav, let me come to you on that. Why are we seeing this escalation right now? We know this is a sore spot, right? We know that the Karnataka government has a special assembly session every time in Belagavi, and that becomes a sore spot. The same language is spoken on either side of the border, as Mr. Rao says. Why is this historically such a hot potato issue?
Justice Mahajan, who belongs to Maharashtra.
No, Vaibhav Purandare. Vaibhav Purandare. That question for Vaibhav Purandare, please. Yes.
Well, historically, it has been a matter of dispute because Belgavi, Karwar, Nipani, and other areas along the Maharashtra-Karnataka border, a majority of whose speakers were Marathi and spoke the language of Marathi were included in the then Mysore state by the then State Reorganization Commission under the State Reorganization Act. Maharashtra said that these villages ought to be part of Maharashtra and not Mysore, which later became Karnataka. And in 1966, the center set up the Mahajan Commission, which Mr. Bhaskar Rao referred to, and the Mahajan Commission gave a very strange verdict. The states in India were formed on a linguistic basis, but the Mahajan Commission said that Belgavi should remain a part of Karnataka, even though it had a majority of Marathi speakers. And it actually said that some villages along the border, which had a majority of Kannada speakers, were made a part of Maharashtra. So this was a strange logic followed by the Mahajan Commission, and Karnataka accepted its report and Maharashtra rejected its report. Over the decades, there have been riots. The Belgavi civic body has passed a series of resolutions from the 1980s onwards, at the latest being in 2005, which created quite a controversy, demanding a merger of the town and other areas with Maharashtra. And there's been plenty of violence and this kind of incident, where buses are stoned and all of that. Such incidents have been happening for several decades. But the latest flare-up happened because of Basavaraj Bommai's uncalled for statement. There was a hearing. Maharashtra has gone to the Supreme Court in this boundary dispute matter. In 2004-05, it went to the Supreme Court. A hearing of this matter was scheduled in the Supreme Court on November 30th. Eventually, of course, the hearing didn't take place. It was deferred further. But just when the hearing was about to take place, Maharashtra formed a team comprising a couple of ministers to liaise with the legal team which is fighting the case in the Supreme Court. That was all that had happened. Now, Basavaraj Bommai suddenly goes out and says that villages along the border are welcome to join Karnataka. There was no need for this provocative statement. And this statement resulted in a reaction from Maharashtra's side, then a series of statements on both sides, prohibitory orders yesterday, and the stoning of buses today and violence today. So Basavaraj Bommai is squarely responsible for this latest flare-up. There was no need for him to make that statement. Perhaps he was addressing his domestic constituency because of the elections scheduled there next year. He is playing to the domestic gallery perhaps, but this is very dangerous because the last thing we can afford is an interstate dispute.
And absolutely, I want to understand why this, I would say, sore point is still relevant today. Mr. Rao, I want your view on Vaibhav Purandare's statement that Basavaraj Bommai, in a sense, started all of this. And how is this relevant today when Maharashtra and Karnataka host two major metro cities in which people from all across the country come and stay, speaking all languages?
Been IGP of Belgaum, and which having border from Bijapur towards Solapur, towards Karwar, etc. I can only say that the relationship between people is excellent. Only a handful of people are out there to create this kind of problem for political benefits over there. In Belgaum, there are people who speak Marathi as well as Kannada, and across the border in Kolhapur and Sholapur also they speak over there. And another thing which you would observe is that the northernmost part of Karnataka, that is Belgaum, Bijapur, are extremely well developed compared to the southernmost part of Maharashtra. So if there have been some requirement for water, etc., and drought, and if they have looked for help over there, it would only be looking like some kind of a help that must have been required over there. People from the bordering villages, they come towards Nipani in search of jobs over there. People from Nipani also go to Kolhapur in search of jobs over there. So a small gesture of help should not be taken so seriously and a wound dug up to take care of that. If Honorable CM has made a mention, he must have just done it out of humanitarian consideration over there. But there is no need to treat it as a very provocative statement over there. And the matter should be addressed at a Gram Panchayat level, not even at a state government level, and it can be taken. No need to blow this out of proportion. That's what I feel.
Was it blown out of proportion, Vaibhav?
No, it was clearly a deliberately provocative statement saying that villages along the border in Maharashtra are being invited specifically by Karnataka to join Karnataka. There was no need for it. Those villages were not even being discussed. Their underdevelopment in Maharashtra is a different matter altogether. And the Belgavi dispute is a different matter altogether. Bommai was obviously playing to the gallery domestically for political reasons. So it is certainly not the kind of very innocent and helpful, benevolent gesture that Mr. Rao is making it to be. Certainly not. And okay, let us give him benefit of doubt there. Okay, what about today's violence? What was the need for it? There has been a stoning of buses. I agree, there has been stoning of buses in retaliation on the Maharashtra side of the border also. In fact, not stoning of buses, but defacing of buses in Pune today, 4 Karnataka buses. But what was the reason for the violence this morning? So there are statements being made in Karnataka which are resulting in violence in Karnataka. And if that is a benevolent gesture, then I don't know if this is a new definition we have of benevolence. At the same time, where I agree with Mr. Rao is that the BJP rules both states, and it is incumbent on the BJP to ensure that there is an immediate de-escalation and that violence does not happen at all.
It's gone on for long enough. Yeah, Assam and Meghalaya were seeing problems a couple of weeks ago.
Tamanna madam, precious resources is being wasted. People's time is being wasted over there. Center should correct it and say enough and stop it. Because normal people are not interested in all this thing. You will see on both sides in Karnataka as well as Maharashtra. Only a few people are planning this
I want to ask that question to Vaibhav very quickly before I'm running out of time. I understand that this was a major flashpoint in 1966 when the Mahajan Committee report was, given and all of that. Is it still relevant today about who speaks which language and stays where? In this day and age, when you look at the nature of Mumbai, of Bengaluru, that are trying to be cosmopolitan, almost international cities?
I'll tell you where the issue is relevant. The issue is relevant politically, and it matters politically to netas also in the border areas. Beyond the border areas, it is not such a hot issue as it used to be. But if there is violence, if there is an escalation of tensions, if tensions build up and provocative statements are made, and once violence starts, you never know where it's going to lead to. And there are always political constituencies on both sides to cater to, and political parties are wanting to appropriate entire issues, appropriate entire constituencies, and take up issues which will divide people and result in some sort of polarization. Now, this is why such issues are dangerous. They may not matter to you, to me, or to most people in both states. In fact, both Maharashtra and Karnataka are neighbors, and people of both states have a tremendous regard for each other's population. Okay, so if there are a handful of people seeking to create trouble, then it is the responsibility of the ruling establishment, the politicians, and also the opposition, the people across the political spectrum in the states as well as at the center, to ensure that no political color is given to this dispute. Whatever dispute and differences there may be, let them be sorted out amicably.
Don't fan the flames. Don't fan the flames for political gain.
Yeah, you don't have to sweep it under the carpet and say that there are no differences. Let there be differences, but let them be sorted amicably and in the court. The matter is in the Supreme Court now. But
you can't have a situation where buses are being attacked, state transport has stopped.
And I'll tell you that inside Karnataka, we are a very inclusive state. There is a Maharashtra Ekikaran Samiti, which contests elections, and Karnataka has been absolutely tolerant. We are not been going anything hammer and tongs against them over there. Then there's the Shiv Sena also, which is in existence in Nipani and various parts. So peacefully they are coexisting over there. There is no point in again digging up something and going.
Yes. No, it needs to be sorted. It needs to be sorted very quickly. On a lighter note, this is also the route when you drive down from Mumbai to Goa. You pass by all of these places. They should make this safe as soon as possible. Thank you so much. I will wrap it here. Thank you so much, Bhaskaran, Vaibhav, Purandare, for joining us on Beyond the Headline and breaking down that big story. That's all the time we have this evening. We'll be back tomorrow. We hope to see you then.